Good morning, everyone, from probably one of the most beautiful places I have ever woken up. If any of you are new around here, my name is Tori and I'm currently traveling solo in this self-converted Sprinter van. And if you haven't yet, please consider hitting that subscribe button and joining us on the road, because we are spending the next few weeks road tripping down south through Utah and I could not be more excited. I've spent the last couple of days at this spot just getting some work done, enjoying the views, and resting after my long 8-hour trek up from Sedona last week. While I've loved staying at this campsite, it's not really a campsite, it's more of an overlook kind of pull-off of the road here. So there has been a decent amount of traffic going by, but it's time to venture back into the city, grab some cell service, and find our next campsite. I've got everything all packed up. I'm gonna get the van closed up and we are gonna head out. Just finished up getting some work done. There was a 2-hour parking limit here, which kind of sucks, but I got a lot of stuff done. Feels like I was pretty productive. So I found a spot. It's about a 45-minute drive from here. Usually when I'm going out to campsites, half of the drive is just on like bumpy dirt roads because all of that takes a little bit longer. So we're gonna head out that way. This spot supposedly has a pretty view of Lake Utah, or Utah Lake. Yeah, so let's get out of the city and get to camp before it gets dark. So this is easily the best decision I have made all day. Welcome home for the night, guys. I am in utter shock of these views that I have landed for free. And I have cell service here, and it's right by the highway, no 30 minutes of bumpy roading. It was just so easy to get here. So this spot, honestly, out of all my years of van life, this one seems a little bit too good to be true, but there are plenty of other people camped here, and I am stoked to spend a few days here. I'm only a few minutes from Saratoga Springs, which is awesome, so I can get into town for food, gas, anything that I need. I'm just shocked. Like, the city is right over there. Last night, I was camped up at the tippy top of these mountains here, so I just kind of made my way around the lake. The entire drive was stunning, and this area of Utah is unreal. Like, I can't believe people get to live here. It's so pretty. Okay, well, this is home for the night. Haley and I are just gonna enjoy the views. We'll do some more adventuring tomorrow, so I think I'll pick up with you guys in the morning. Good night. Come here. Enjoying the view? Hello everybody, good afternoon. It's definitely not morning anymore. Well, today I just kind of woke up feeling a little bit low energy. The last few days I've kind of been doing a lot of moving, a lot of driving, and while that's really exciting and super fun, it can kind of leave me feeling a little bit burnt out. So it's nice to kind of just be able to post up somewhere that I know that I can stay parked for a little while and just do some normal day-to-day things. I did a little bit of a workout this morning, took a shower that was desperately overdue. I feel like a whole new person, and now I'm just gonna spend the rest of my day enjoying the absolutely stellar view from my desk here, get a little computer work done. Finding balance living on the road can be interesting sometimes because there's always that desire, especially when I'm sitting here looking at such a beautiful view, to go climb all the mountains that I'm looking at and be super adventurous. But I also have to find balance for rest and for work. It's something I'm still navigating a little bit since I've been traveling by myself. Thought I'd bring you guys along for kind of a normal week of van life for me, show you some of the not so exciting parts and just kind of the usual flow of my weeks. So I'm gonna get to work and I'll catch up with you guys later. Lately I've been trying to take a walk or a little adventure of some kind to close out my work days. No screens, just me and Haley wherever we happen to be that day. Living in a van, I find so often I get caught up in all the doing, the new places, the hiking, where I'm going next, that often I forget to just be. And something about this campsite allowed me simply to be. Sunset painting the water and the mountains in beautiful pinks and purples, it simply seemed impossible to do anything but be. To breathe a breath in and a breath out and soak up every moment, knowing that all of this is temporary. The sunset, the campsite, I won't always get to be here, so while I am, it feels really important to feel it. So I spent this particular evening soaking up every bit of this simple life that I could. I spent a few hours on a long overdue FaceTime with a friend, and every few moments I would glance up at the view from my kitchen and my heart would stop all over again. Not every day of van life is perfect. In fact, most days are a bit chaotic, but damn, I'm grateful for this lifestyle. This is by far the best way to start any day. Holy crap. This is so peaceful. It's not too hot. It's just kind of like warm bath water. I met some really friendly locals here this morning that told me a couple of other hot springs that I should maybe check out in the area. so we might get up to that this weekend. Just as magical and peaceful as I expected it to be. Every time Josh and I get an Airbnb to take a break from the van, if we're in the shop, anything like that, I always pick an Airbnb with a hot tub. I'm a huge hot tub person, so it's so cool to be able to have a free nature hot tub, and I didn't even have to spend $100 on an Airbnb. I'm definitely starting to get pruny, so I'll have to get out soon, and I have a couple of errands in town to run today, but I'm just going to soak in every last second here. It's not as stinky as I thought it would be. The sulfur smell is very, very mild. It did kind of hit me when I first walked up, but I got used to it very quickly. And another note for anybody considering visiting hot springs, I know it's probably technically not encouraged, but a lot of people do soak in pools like this in the nude, so just be ready for that if you plan on coming to a hot springs. Coming early in the morning on a weekday was definitely the right move. One of the locals that I met said that it does get quite busy here, so definitely lucked out having it all to myself. Sorry it got a little steamy there, guys. After making a few stops in town, I headed back to the lake spot to get some work done. I'm so grateful to be working with views like this from my bed, but sometimes it can be a little distracting. After forcing myself to sit still for a couple of hours of work, I called it for the day to go climb on these rocks that have been calling my name all afternoon. My after-work adventure for today. The sun sets far too early as per usual, but it was beautiful and I'm grateful to have seen it. I ended up staying at this spot a lot longer than I had originally planned. Longer than anywhere I've stayed on my trip, actually. It almost started to feel like home, which was nice because sometimes nowhere feels like home. So this was home, for now anyway. Good morning, everybody. We are hiking to another hot springs. This one is a 4.5 mile round trip, so I'm excited to get a little bit of movement in and work a little bit harder for this one. It's also much more remote than the last one, so hopefully it will be more peaceful all around. I drove to the trailhead this morning, and then I have a different campsite about a half hour from here picked out for tonight. So I spent the last few days just hanging out at that lake spot, but I kind of fell into a bit of a slump. Sorry, Haley's moving around. I just hadn't really been feeling myself. I don't know if it was a mix of feeling a little bit burnt out from trying to do a little bit too much every week. I do have trouble sometimes balancing adventure and rest on the road. Especially when I'm out west because I'm not out here as often as I'd like to be. So I took a few days to rest, but I still wasn't really feeling myself, so I thought maybe I have just been in one place for a little bit too long and it was just starting to feel a little stagnant for me, so we are relocating today. It is so insanely beautiful and the cozy weather has me really starting to feel excited for the holidays. So I'm gonna grab my bag and we're gonna go soak in hot springs. Having grown up out east, I didn't even know hot springs like this one existed until about 2 years ago. I've always felt drawn to the water. It feels like such a safe place to me. Something about it always puts me at ease, so a place like this, a place this magical, felt entirely unreal. The water was the most vivid sort of cloudy blue, unlike anything I've ever seen. The air had a thick aroma of sulfur, but after about 2 minutes, the smell is lost on me entirely as I sink into the inviting warm water and out of the crisp air of late fall and the mountains. After a few too many minutes soaking, me and my very wrinkly fingers walked very swiftly back to the van. It was a bit less enjoyable with wet hair and socks, considering it's freezing outside. But the amazing views and the sounds of the rapids eased the sting of the cold just a bit. The air is different in the mountains. I've tried a million times to try to find the words to describe it, and I always come up empty. So I settle into camp for the night, feeling that feeling that I can't explain and enjoying every moment of it. Made it back to camp, got all showered and cleaned because my hair smelled like sulfur. That hot springs was unbelievable, but it definitely did have a much higher concentration of sulfur than the one I went to previously. So it was a little bit stinky. My bathing suit, towel, and my hair all kind of smelled like sulfur, so decided it was time for a bath. We are settling in to our campsite for the evening. It is a weekend, so it's pretty busy here now. So I don't really know how long we'll stay here, probably just another day or so. I tend to like to use weekends for my travel days, since campsites, hikes, and everything like that are busier on weekends. Those are the days that I often will venture into town, do chores, or in this case, drive to Bryce Canyon. On my drive up here from Arizona, it was so hard for me not to stop at all of the amazing places that I drove by. So on my way back down to Phoenix for Thanksgiving with my sister, I am going to be hitting Bryce Canyon, Zion, and I will be staying a few nights at Lake Powell. So I will pick up with you guys the next Tuesday for our road trip of southern Utah. Thank you guys so much for watching and enjoying the hot springs and snow-capped mountain views with me. If you guys like this video, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up. It really does help support my channel, and I will see you guys next Tuesday for the ultimate Utah road trip. But I got a lot of done. That was a mouthful.